Batman 54. This is Tom King, art by Matt Wagner actually, popping up. Not seen him in a while.
Marred by a little bit of controversy before that came out, though.
What was the controversy? Fill me in.
Originally, this was going to be coloured by Wagner's son, who did colour the cover.
Right, okay.
And it got replaced last minute. And Wagner was not happy about that because they'd had an agreement and they decided it didn't fit the style of DC. And replace it is the post that he put out, and it got replaced by who is it? Murray.
I'm looking at the cover because obviously you said he still colored the cover, so I'm looking at this and I'm trying to see what they mean by doesn't fit the style of DC.
It definitely looks more flat.
Yeah, a bit more old school. But Matt Wagner's art kind of lends to that, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. I prefer the colours on the cover. I think it suits it a lot better, and I think it's got a bit more style to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I like Matt Wagner's art, but I do think the colouring in the book isn't suited to his art style.
It makes it look too cartoony, which is my main problem with this issue.
Whereas his stuff usually looks quite pulpy.
Yeah. Because I've liked Wagner's art in the past, and I think the line works fine. But there's the shading, the colouring, not quite.
And I wonder if part of it was that it was kind of done last minute. It was maybe a bit rushed.
Very possibly. I'm happy to say I like the issue though. Outside of that, like the story, I like a lot.
How excited were you for Condiment King?
Oh,
I immediately thought of Peter.
Yeah, see when I saw the ketchup and stuff flying around, and then Dick's just they're making fun of him, and then obviously before that making fun of what's Quilt, Quilt, Crazy Quilt. There you go. And try to understand that he's like, no, so you sew sometimes, right? You make quilts. He's like, no, quilt of colors. I don't sew.
Of colors. This made me long for the Grayson days when King and Seeley were together, because you have the super quippy Dick Grayson. And here I do like how it showed that a lot like Bruce, he was an angry young man right after, but what the difference is the support structure around Dick versus Bruce.
Yeah,
and that's changed who they are as people. Yeah, and I really like that message in this one.
Yeah, the focus of this issue is very much just kind of showing how Bruce took care of Dick after his parents died, and then Dick's basically trying to break through and get him to open up about the fact that he's still upset about Selina. And he's trying to like, hey, it's okay if you're not okay, you can break down. And it's not until the very end of the issue where he cracks a joke. He makes a bet about ricocheting around the Batcave. He's like, I'll bet you a penny. I'll take the big one, and it makes Batman laugh, and then he breaks down finally. And a big thing of King's run has really been humanizing Bruce a lot more than a lot of writers do. So I thought it was effective. I think touching back at, obviously we're all big fans of Dick. Make your jokes now, folks. But he using his relationship with Bruce and using their past and him being there for him and Dick trying to return the favor now is it's heartwarming. It works, I think, if you're a fan of these characters. Yeah. So, how did Connor hate it? Because he always hates things that we like in Batman.
I think it's pretty solid. I don't love it. I'm not over the moon with it. I think it's pretty solid though. I don't know if there's anything definitively that I can say. Oh, it's that I don't like. Maybe it is just something in the art. Maybe it is like the colors. It doesn't quite fit the story for me.
My main problem, besides the coloring making it look cartoony, some panels of young Dick are just downright wrong looking. He looks like a tiny child instead of like if he was supposed to be like 10, 11 in that range.
Yeah, it looks more like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So... Also, his angry face is kind of funny, actually. Not necessarily in a good way. Like, I'm amused by it, so I guess it gave me some entertainment.
Yeah,
but...
it's the one where he's shouting that cucumber sandwiches are gross.
Yes, that's the one. But right after that's the Condiment King page. And he's
right back in.
Yeah, he's firing ketchup at people. And I love that Dick's all jokes. He's cracking these jokes until he gets hit in the face with ketchup. And he's like, all right, we'll talk about this later. He's like, and I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy. So that cracks me up, but no, I also like the idea of Batman trying, because some of the art's because I think the panel on that page, the one where Dick gets ketchup on him, he gets a facial, if you will.
Oh dear.
Middle top panel with Batman with his cape across. Like, that's a really good panel. That's a really classic looking pulpy Batman panel. I like that a lot. Yep. So it still shines
and see,
in places, but you know.
That's one of the benefits of having a cape is when you fight Condiment King.
Yes.
Keep your head dry.
Yeah, so. Dick was so quick to give up the cape, but he didn't think of these applications.
Yeah.
No.
It's even things like the on that same page it uses the pow sound effect, and we don't see pow very often anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it feel like a throwback, which is cool. Which had the coloring of Matt Wagner's son come through, and it looked more traditionally like Matt Wagner, I think it would have had a different feel. But because of Crazy Quilt and Condiment King, and it's really like taking in all the goofiness that is Batman and Robin and some of those Silver Agey elements, just kind of whiffs a little, I think.
Well, I think using those characters that are more goofy and Silver Age actually is kind of the point, is because it harkens back to the early days of Batman and Robin and the campiness of it.
But had it looked a little bit more pulpy instead of cartoony, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm not sticking up for the art here. What I'm saying is in terms of narrative, that's why King's using them, and that's why I like it.
No, yeah, me too. I don't want it to look like I didn't like that they're using those. I just mean meshing with the art and whatnot. It comes off more cartoony, especially because you're using those cartoon characters, you know.
Mm.
So
I would say one of my only other major criticisms is the final page. I think it's far too cluttered, far too many word balloons on there. You got a great image of them, zipping through the sky together, and it's just all this white bubbles everywhere.
Yeah, I'd take a lot of that away, because the main page behind it, the main spread behind it looks really nice.
It's a gorgeous page. Yeah.
That's fair. And I feel weird that the cucumber sandwiches is the metaphor here for the relationship, but whatever works.
But yeah, no, the issue is fine. Like, I've heard a lot of my friends didn't like it. They thought it was kind of a waste of an issue, which I thought it was fine. I think Bruce rebounding after, getting stood up at his wedding and then interfering with a trial. Like, this is a nice little breather before whatever happens next.
I like that he's doing like different takes on his like grief after the wedding, and this is just a one issue thing, and I don't think this is a waste at all. I think this is a fun little standalone sort of. Obviously, it's within the overall story, but it's a standalone issue in and of itself, and just what it's exploring. So I like that a lot.
We have King writing Batman and Robin, which we don't get too often. Like, we see him deal with Nightwing or Damian, but like the classic pairing. Yeah. I don't think we've seen King write too often, so I like this.
And he nails their chemistry, I think, quite well.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we'll rate the issue. Matt, what are you giving it?
7.5. Just the coloring of the art kind of takes it down, and the way that Wagner draws Dick looking a little bit too young. Gotta stay away from the young Dick.
That's solid advice. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
To think I was going to make a joke about him not liking Matt Wagner's Dick, and then you hit me with that. Connor, what are you giving it?
I guess 6.5. It's pretty solid.
6.5. Yeah. No, I'll slightly up Matt and go with an 8. I really like the chemistry. I love, obviously, the Condiment King Crazy Quilt stuff. I think it nails all that. I agree with the complaints with the colouring not quite matching the art, and I think it's worse because you see the front cover and you see what it would look like, and it's like, that looks better. Damn it.
And we're all familiar with Wagner's art from the past anyway. We know what it's capable of looking like.
Yeah, from like Trinity.
So I didn't
and stuff
know
like
about the controversy with his son, but my takeaway still was like the coloring didn't match. So now it makes sense. So at least I have a reason. Yeah. It wasn't like this is just what they put out there.